There are a lot of suspicions, a lot of concerns. It's impossible to lay the blame for any given crash at one particular flaw or problem. Most likely it was a connection between technology that may be new and training that might not have been ready yet either, and crew procedures and airline procedures that also might have been a mistake. But in general, a lot of suspicion has focused on the MCAS system, which is a device that basically adjusts the plane in flight automatically if it senses that the plane is going into a stall. I think the big danger here is that everyone blames the FAA, even though there's no investigation findings yet. And most importantly, frankly, the most likely logical thing is that the FAA was merely under-resourced, which has been a continuing mantra, less resources for regulatory and oversight agencies, which sometimes is a good idea, but very often it isn't. This is the biggest danger in the aftermath of these terrible tragedies, that frankly the FAA is at risk of losing some of its power, its soft power in terms of worldwide image. That's why any investigations that are going to take place need to be done in a very above board way. Basically, this needs to be a totally transparent process to reassure people and make sure that the system of global worldwide reciprocity in aircraft certification is maintained. Given what we know, which is not 100% of everything, but it looks like the likely remedy is going to be a software patch and training changes, greater awareness of the system and its role in the operations of the jet. A lot of it's probably going to come down to confidence by the regulators, by the people who oversee the regulators, and of course the flying public. The technical aspect of it might just be the first part. That part will take weeks, followed by a period of working it all out, and installation, and of course installing the necessary training changes throughout the world fleet of about 380 of these jets. Meanwhile, they're going to continue production. That's the plan so far. Even though they can't deliver them, they're still going to keep building them with the changes built in. It's a big reputational hit, particularly given the investigations into the certification procedure and whether or not too much authority was devolved onto Boeing itself. But the financial aspect, even though it sounds big in headline terms, hundreds of millions, perhaps $1 billion in total damage. This is a company that made about $10 billion last year, so its ability to weather the storm isn't really questioned. It's just going to be painful. At the end of the day, this is a version of the 737, and there are a lot of people who think that the fourth version is maybe just a version too far. I don't think that's going to be the case. Most likely, they're going to find a problem with a discrete system and the training associated with the implementation of that discrete system, and it will be fixable. There's over 10,000 737s that have been built, another 5,000 or so on order for this version. I don't think this is going to derail the process, assuming they don't find anything more severe than what they're currently contemplating after these tragedies.